What's up, my viewers? Don't forget to leave feedbacks. Enjoy the story. Let's begin.
A dark swordsman coated in shadows has taken form. Jin is using this special form to close the gap between their skills. With a few slashes, the fight has already ended. Murakami explains that Jin activated an artifact called the Myolta Rune. It's an incredible defensive weapon that defends the wielder from all attacks below 7 stars. That's the power of the ring that Jin sought with desperation. It's an object that was going to be revealed several years into the future, but luckily he has acquired it now. With Alu's cut-down body resting on the ground, Jin inquires about his connection with the Runtsnadels. The Dark Dragon questions why he's so desperate to find out the man's connection. Alu, in his last breath, realizes that he just faced the youngest pure-blood Runcandle. He seems to know about the assassination that took out Jin as a child. Alu leaves with an ominous warning to be fearful of the person he's looking for. Murakami still doesn't get it, while Jin figures that this guy's identity is more important than he thought. He's confident that he's connected in some ways to their family. Murakami doesn't get his intrigue. Jin wants to hunt down the mysterious person, and it is critical he finds him for his clan's safety. Jin meditates on the man's words. He's confident that it's one of his siblings from the clan, but the question is who? It has to be someone who figured out Jin's talent from a young age and wanted to eliminate the threat. There's only one person. Joshua Runcandle, the candidate patriarch to lead their clan. The following few days, Tessing's destruction is publicized to the whole world. This is thanks to Jetu's help, and though he was still interrogated by the Xiphals, it's fine because Jin profited the most from the situation. He obtained ancient books, found the special ring, and even defeated a 7-star knight with his own powers. Jilly shares her obvious concerns that he's still underestimating the capabilities of what a 7-star knight is like. This is confirmed by Jin himself, who thinks he's weaker than his nanny even at this stage. Their tracks are covered thanks to the merchant, so it's time to move on to the next location, the free city of Tikan. Murakami is confused while Jilly instantly realizes Jin's intention to hunt down the 7-colored bird. Don't get it twisted, it's not a rainbow-ass bird. It's like a CIA unit, a trusted agency that has a lot of reputation. But Jin thinks they're the bad guys, so he wants to hunt them down. They travel by sea as Jin is starting to realize that he can't find a good excuse for claiming the things he does. His knowledge of his past life is helping him, but he doesn't know how to explain it to Jilly or Murakami. What's more is that he has to carry out investigations into many different groups and clans. He's still bothered by Alu's connection, as well as the forbidden magic discovered in Colin. Since he has so much to investigate, the Tikan city is the best way to lie low. Murakami talks about Chenmi's spell, which is placed on the ancient relic. It's a form of light magic that was used to protect against the Xiphals. The Xiphal clan made sure to eradicate anyone in their path. That's what happened to Chenmi too, and thus it will be the fate of the Runcandels if Jindones end up mastering Shadow Force. It's a heavy burden. Murakami insists that he learn a bunch of spells. He casts a shadow spell, causing confusion to Jin, who was expecting light magic instead. Suddenly, the room illuminates in a bright flash, blinding the boy's eyes as Murakami gets a great laugh. Blinding magic can be used offensively and defensively. It's one of the spells Chenmi came up with, so Jin thinks it's a valuable find. Murakami is more or less curious about the second relic from the Hister clan. The code is beyond his understanding, so he doesn't think anything valuable can be found inside. Jin insists they keep the book for the time being and crack its contents when the time is right. A week of travel passed as the group arrived in the free city of Tikan, a beautiful place completely free from the influence of the Runcandles and the Xiphals. It is considered the perfect site for vacations. Jilly recommends looking for a place to stay. Dragon Boy is hoping he finds a lavish place this time. Murakami's sudden transformation attracted the attention of a little girl, who clearly saw a cat turn into a man. The girl wants to learn how to transform too, while Gilly and Murakami are stumped. Funnily enough, they try to gaslight the little girl into believing she was hallucinating, and that people can't transform like that. Jin is out here playing politics with a tiny loudmouth gremlin who is stubborn to believe what she sees. Jilly thinks they should take her to the guards, but it might cause immense trouble if the rumors spread. Murakami tries to talk shit, but she gives him the death stare for stupidly transforming in the middle of the damn city. Yulia spots the guards, but she doesn't like being around them since they cause her mother trouble. Feeling that something might be off, Jin assumes that Yulia's mother could be a criminal. The guard instantly recognizes Yulia's face and calls for the chief. He tells Jin that she's the daughter of their chief in command. So no, she's not a criminal. On the contrary, she's a brooding woman that looks like she will skin you alive. But when she sees her daughter, she crumbles into a sweet and lovable being. Yulia embraces her mother. Elisa introduces herself properly as the chief of the defense guards. Jin returns her kind regards and states that he's traveling with his friends. Jin requests recommendations for a place to stay. Well, before that, the little runt tells something to her mother. Elisa happily shares her recommendation letter for Jin to show to inn-owners around the city, promising them a good place to stay. The group leaves, but Elisa is still concerned about the news she heard from her daughter. Yulia snitched, seeing Murakami transforming into a cat. What's more is that transformations are only possible for dragons which concern her. Our heroes are staying in their newfound inn, receiving a premium unlike last time. They're happy to get so lucky upon arrival. Jilly wants to go and grab some ice pops. Instead of being on a mission, it feels like they're on a vacation. Murakami is curious how the boy is planning to handle the intelligence agency. Jin explains that he's here to locate someone first. The Seven-Colored Bird Agency is commanded by Kashmir, the Phantom Sword. He's an incredible swordsman, so much so that the Runcandle family acknowledged his swordsmanship skills. But that's the only thing the world knows about him. In 10 years' time, it is actually revealed that Kashmir is the fallen prince of the Vymonth Empire. After that, he convinced the Empire and the two most powerful clans to form Taikan into its own nation, becoming its first king. The man is not only an excellent swordsman, but also a sharp strategist who is laying low for years to come out at the perfect moment. Jin is hoping to make a friend out of him, but he doesn't know how. Suddenly, Strawberry Pie bursts into the scene, explaining that the inn has been exited completely. No one is there. A hand reaches out to grab her from the shadows. It's Kashmir himself, who was one step ahead of their plans. Murakami is so damn annoyed because Kashmir grabbed his crush. He rushes to kill him in an instant as Jin begs him to stop. The Dark Dragon shows a hint of its terrifying powers, warning Kashmir to back off. Kashmir isn't supposed to be here so soon. They kept their identity hidden for the most part, so Jin doesn't understand why. He is fearful of the Murakami killing everyone in the place, which would be detrimental to his plans of befriending Kashmir. Jin uses Gilly as his anchor to reason with Murakami, who finally decides to revert his powers. He snatches Gilly like she belongs to him, and roars at the man for acting like they're friends. Instead of Kashmir conducting the interrogation, it's Murakami who has turned the tables around him. Jin intervenes, requesting the swordsman to put his sword down. Kashmir is stunned that the traveler recognizes him. Instead of introducing his false persona, Jin feels adequate in revealing his connection to the Run Candles. Both Murakami and Gilly are shocked. They don't know what's going on in his damn head. The clueless Kashmir stands speechless as Jin proposes to move to a quiet location. They sit across the respectable swordsman after he sends his troops back. He came here to uncover the existence of a dragon, but that accusation enraged Murakami. Kashmir is undoubtedly certain he's dealing with an actual dragon based on his terrifying aura. It's because of Jin that they managed to survive his onslaught. Kashmir even knows about Gilly, sensing that she doesn't bear any aura. He wonders what she's doing traveling with Jin. Kashmir is confused and immediately confronts the topic of the dragons. He doesn't realize how Runcandels are able to form contracts with dragons, because only the Zephyl clan is capable of doing such a thing. Jin emphasizes that not even his clan knows about this information, which is expected. Kashmir is concerned that he revealed an important piece of his life so easily. Jin questions what drew the man to investigate looking into a dragon. Kashmir happily returns the favor by spilling his secrets. Yulia is actually this man's daughter, and since she saw Murakami's transformation, he came around to investigate. Yulia possesses a special contract, which means she can't be deceived with her eyes. Murakami doesn't like what he's hearing. If the girl is a divine contractor, it doesn't make sense that her dragon is nowhere to be found. Kashmir sulks, explaining that Yulia's dragon has been missing as of late. It's possible that the Zephyl clan plotted an attack, but they're uncertain. Even Murakami is annoyed that a powerful dragon could get kidnapped for a year. The worst part is, Yulia will soon succumb to madness if she doesn't find her guardian dragon. Kashmir is shocked. He doesn't believe what he just heard. Murakami explains that Yulia possesses the power to see the future, an ability that even powerful dragons struggle with. The only reason she hasn't divulged to madness is because of her young age. But if she stays like this for another year, Murakami is certain the girl will lose her sanity. When Jin asks for an explanation, Murakami adds that her powers are governed by principles of causality. If Yulia has seen the future, then she must operate accordingly. Bending this law will incur a massive punishment. The contractor that chooses not to abide by the future will suffer a future of destruction. In simple words, Yulia sees the world much differently, and she requires a guardian dragon to preserve her sanity. Hearing such agonizing news, Kashmir is overwhelmed. He cripples to his knees and explains that not even his connection to the Seven-Colored Bird Intelligence Agency could help them locate a new dragon. The Dark Dragon reasons that Yulia was looking for them when they got there because the god Asmil wanted her to seek their help. Obviously, he turns down any request to help her since this matter is out of his hands. Jin uses this as the perfect opportunity to befriend the man by saving his daughter. He encourages the wavering man to regain his composure, as they will personally start looking for Yulia's dragon. It's the perfect crutch he needed to have a favor over Kashmir, but it's not an easy task with all things considered. Since the Tikan city doesn't have any allegiance to a specific clan, Murakhan requests for the data of every dragon in Vmonth. Jin catches on to what seems to be a last resort at saving Yulia's life. In a different location, Quikentel, a beautiful dragon, speaks to Enya, her contractor. Enya is impressed by Jin Runkendel's epic tales, but her dragon thinks lightly of the brat. She believes Enya is more special since she was chosen by the god of time. Suddenly, a shiver runs down her spine. She realizes this bone-chilling feeling could only mean one thing and one thing alone. Signaling Enya to heed to safety, Quikentel prepares to approach the darkness that has come to visit their land. Murakhan in his dragon form intends to release all dark energy, calling out the rest of the dragons in the area. He wants Jin to keep hiding and conceal his presence. The dark dragon prepares to release the dark magic. Jin remembers how Murakhan obtained the list and learned of 4 recognizable dragons in the region. He sensed that it could become problematic handling them all at once. Before they left, Kashmir offered his earnest gratitude and begged for them to save his daughter. Murakhan instructs the man to exhaust Yulia's energy each day before she receives her new dragon. Anything that tires her out will work best in the child's favor. Kashmir intends to follow this routine. The second thing is related to ice pops. Poor Jilly wanted to get them, but she couldn't because of their intrusion. This man is rizzing her with ice pops, and even earned her affection for comforting Kashmir. Jin acknowledges that deep down, the dark dragon is a really good guy. He warns the boy of the incoming dragons. Rabus and Untiel are rushing at a considerable speed. Jin wears his armor to conceal his identity. Murakhan explains that he used to beat these guys for entering his territory. Dragons worked like that, so now he's acquired enemies. While he's making his fancy introduction, the Earth Dragons are begging for him to leave at once. Their contractor might see him, which would become a huge problem. But instead of taking their advice, Murakhan is offended. They try to reason with him, finally revealing that Quikentel is pissed and is in the mood to kill the Dark Dragon. The Silver Dragon has a complicated history with the guy. Actually, Jin learns that she's his damn ex. Both the Earth Dragons are beginning to leave the vicinity, because their battle might cause a lot of destruction. But it's already too late. Quikentel makes a roaring entrance with her dragon breath. Murakhan warns Jin to brace for impact because she's clearly not finished. He evades each of her strikes, causing a vortex in the ocean. All of her attacks are all 8 stars or above. Jin is terrified by her strength. Quikentel roars in frustration, frustrated that he had the gall to show up at all. Jin learns that Murakhan shared a relationship with her for 500 years. He wants Jin to use Bradamante in case things get tough. He knows just how powerful she is, so it's going to take every last bit of Jin's strength to concentrate into a powerful attack in the hopes of damaging her. Quikentel transforms into her dragonic state. She has a vicious desire to end Murakhan's life. Murakhan tries to have a sensible conversation with her, offering a way to resolve their conflicts after. But she's so pissed that she fires an immense beam, ignoring his offer. Then she tackles him with ferocity and attempts to bite him, but he swiftly evades. He doesn't get what's keeping her so infuriated. She tries to deliver another beam at point-blank range. Murakhan shielded himself from the attack thanks to Jin's help, who is starting to think his powers are needed to get an edge on her. Murakhan explains that she's weaker, but enraged. She tears the Shadow Force release, deeming it a pitiful attempt. The Silver Dragon lashes at him for becoming so weakened. Murakhan is beginning for her to stop, but ends up infuriating Quikentel so much more instead. Murakhan bites her down, questioning why she's so mad over their breakup. The Silver Dragon dishes out a powerful punch to remind the dumbass that he deserves a proper beating. But this gave Jin enough time to make his move. The Silver Dragon did not anticipate this outcome. It's all up to Jin to attack, and it needs to be the same spot where Murakhan struck her. The Shadow Veil concentrates on his sword, as Jin slices her with a powerful Shadow Force release. The attack cuts through her scales, slashing an entire arm off her body. Murakhan hastens to rescue Jin as the Silver Dragon descends to the sea. Jin is overly exhausted from expiring every last bit of his strength to make that move. He thought they killed her, but this is Quikentel. She's way more powerful than the typical dragon, especially since she governs time itself. Jin realizes that this is bad news for them. They came here looking for Yulia's dragon, but they're the ones about to go missing. The Silver Dragon replenishes her body, turning back her state. It's a cheat magic that drains an immense amount of energy, but it still helps her survive death. Quikentel manifests in her human state. Murakhan thought they ended the relationship on good terms, so she doesn't understand why she's so angry at him. The Silver Dragon is enraged that not only did he leave her, he said so without explanation. Murakhan shouts back, roaring that he isn't at fault for thinking they weren't meant to be. This couple's quarrel surprises Jin. Quiquintel recognizes Jin as the newest contractor of the God of Shadows. Murakami explains that their own kind is at the risk of extinction, but she finds his words full of rubbish since he's not the type to care about such things. Murakami counters that he killed many dragons for her sake too. He turns tail, thinking that she's useless in helping them. She apologizes and learns about Yulia's situation. At long last, they're not buzzing around. Jin overhears the talk of Biareta, the wind dragon. This monster is the guardian dragon of the minor patriarch of the Zyphal clan. It's unquestionable that they're the ones who kidnapped Latri, Yulia's dragon. Quiquintel leads them to her place. She resides in a cabin outside the Viminth Empire's capital. She learns about the youngest Runkandel and recognizes that he's related to Tamar's powers. The three of them journeyed together after all, so she knows. She returns to the topic at hand. Biareta took Latri by deception. The deal was to teach Latri some of the dragon spells. It has now jeopardized the life of a young girl who exists without her guardian dragon. The silver dragon had always been suspicious of Biareta's intentions. He was even insistent upon meeting her contractor. Since Enya's identity is known to the public, she was safe. But for Yulia, they found an opportunity to kidnap her guardian dragon because not many knew about her contractual relationship. Jin outlines his deductions for the Zyphal's plans. He thinks that they are trying to eliminate contractors that aren't under their control. Their second goal is to acquire as many gods by their side through contracts. In his previous life, Jin discovered that the God of Time's contractor was different. He was a Zyphal clan member, which means that Enya was probably killed in that timeline. The same goes for Yulia, who might have her contract revoked. The silver dragon still doesn't find his words persuasive. After all, there would be no reason to acquire more contractors when the Zyphals already have so many. Jin bites back with a sharp response. Since human greed has no limits, it's logical to assume the Zyphals are hungry to acquire even more power. Jin sharply deduces that Quiquintel is putting on a blindfold because she's secretly afraid of the sorcerers. Murakami senses this is bad news as she could easily become enraged. Instead of taking offense, the silver dragon laughs. She's never seen Murakami act cautious around her. She's prepared to take the steps necessary to guarantee the safety of her contractor. Even more, Quiquintel is prepared to help him meet Biareta and recover Latri. Grasping Jin's shoulder, she reminisces on her memories with Tamar. She wants to swear loyalty to his descendant, and even comments that he's just like the first patriarch with his provocations. While they're talking, Enya bursts into the scene, ignoring Quiquintel's warnings to leave the house. She's a clumsy and shy fool who just so happens to fawn over Jin Runkandel. The boy is desperately asking for an explanation out of this mess. Quiquintel sulks, explaining that she's his #1 fangirl. Enya, the #1 simp, can't contain her excitement in front of her star and model Jin. She's surprisingly a commoner, which makes Jin assume that she must be really talented in some other aspect. The silver dragon is annoyed that she rebelled against her order to stay put. Quiquintel is barely containing her composure, while Jin thinks that Enya must have faced some serious bullying at the academy because of her rank. Jin states that he came to address Enya's safety. His kind and cooperative ask is enough to swoon the girl. She literally thinks her Prince Charming is here to rescue her from the bad guys. She's more than ready to go with him. That's just how excited this purple-haired midget is. Quiquintel whacks her unconscious. She's afraid that her obsession for Jin might take her to the ends of the Runkandel clan. The boy is shocked to learn that his own clan has dungeons and even dragons. As for Murakami, the dude is out cold. With the two of them alone, Quiquintel emphasizes that she's only helping out Jin because of her ex-boyfriend, especially when he's become a sorry loser compared to his original strength. He would get destroyed by the wind dragon at his current level, so Quiquintel wants to take charge if it ever comes down to that. Jin is curious about the Biareta's dragon. Just how powerful is this dragon? Quiquintel explains that if Murakami regained his original powers, then they should have been annihilated in their battle. The silver dragon wants Jin to stick around in the cabin until they can locate the wind dragon. Jin is surprised by how much she cares about them in secret. He's ready to handle Murakami from his side. Quiquintel explains that Enya will soon regain consciousness, so he has to handle her carefully this time. Jin is stumped when he sees her actually wake up before his eyes. She's like a damn zombie for this man. After explaining the situation to Enya, she understands that she could be a potential target for the Zyphals. She trusts in his powers completely, and offers to leave tomorrow. Quiquintel instructs her to start packing. She will take care of the academy by calling in a sick leave for her sake. The only thing left is to take care of the wind dragon. Suddenly, a strange man calls out from outside. The silver dragon can't fathom how anyone would come in the middle of nowhere for firewood. Jin immediately realizes that it's a trap. He's confident that the guy outside isn't a nobody. In fact, he's a spy who has probably been keeping watch. Hearing this, Quiquintel instantly opens the door before lifting the man by his throat. She's ready to crush him if he dares not to speak. Then from within the cabin emerges another figure, the real perpetrator hiding in the shadows. He threatens to summon the entire task force if Quiquintel fails to let him go. But this girl is mighty pissed. She dashes headfirst to beat the shit out of this guy. Her thunderous punch sends a shockwave, but it's not nearly enough to even affect this man. He didn't move an inch and simply ate her attack. An incredible punch with the power of a dragon was blocked by this dude. It's clear that he's someone distinct, someone more powerful than the task force captain. He's the Emperor's right-hand man. Latz is another capable swordsman whose skill is acknowledged by the Runcandle clan. He's strong enough to pose immense trouble. Jin is lucky to have his identity concealed with his armor. Latz apologizes for his intrusion and states his true purpose. He came here to check on Jin and Murakhan, who had recently entered their empire. Quiquintel isn't one to let him off so easily. Latz swiftly threatens her, reminding the Silver Dragon that her contractor is out in the open, defenseless by herself. Even if she kills him, Enya won't survive the encounter. With that warning, he hastens to leave. The murderous Silver Dragon reminds Latz that she will return him this favor by taking away everything precious to him in his life. With such an imposing warning, the man takes his leave. He fucked with the wrong dragon. He's already fulfilled his purpose. Apart from the mission, he wants his squad to stay away from Quiquintel as much as possible. Because if they ever dare to try to mess with her, it'll be hell. In fact, that punch alone caused his face to bleed. This man knows he's getting crushed. He's smart and refuses to endanger his squad by provoking the Silver Dragon. Quiquintel is enraged that she made a stupid decision to keep Enya tangled under the roof of the Vemonth Empire. They could have done so much more if not for Jin's warning. Thankfully, they can still make amends and evacuate her to safety soon. The next morning, Jin assures Quiquintel regarding Enya's safety. They've made sure nothing happens to her, and Murakhan is also there to secretly protect her in case things get worse. With her safety guaranteed, it's time to handle Buretta. They will await Murakhan's return and make their move. 1 week has passed. He finally returned with a fine complaint. Quiquintel actually made this cabin in the image of their previous one. He's not planning on going back to her, but those days were truly something precious to him. They lived in harmony with the first patriarch. It was so much fun back then, but reliving those memories now is giving the Dark Dragon a headache he can't get rid of. Quiquintel makes fun of him for being so weak-minded. She informs the group about Buretta's response. They're to hurry to the uninhabited island soon. Having arrived at the location, Jin and Murakhan are observing in secret. When discussing a battle strategy, Quiquintel recommended that they adopt a direct approach and beat the shit out of him if he lies about Latri. Murakhan fancied the idea and thought it would be best if he could join in and double-team the Wind Dragon. However, the Silver Dragon took offense to the idea. It's a matter of honor for the dragons, implying Buretta won't bring anyone to jump them either. Quiquintel is more than confident in her victory, which is usually a bad sign if you ask me. Though Jin believes that Buretta will likely bring backup to take her down. The Wind Dragon finally emerges, and he's brought Andre the minor patriarch of the Zyphals alongside him. Quiquintel hollers at him for being a coward and going back on his word. Buretta remarks that his contractor received the letter in his place, so he's just going along with the situation. He wastes no time in talking pretty and wants her to get to the point. Quiquintel immediately brings Latri to the discussion, which makes the Wind Dragon burst out in an uproarious laugh, almost if it is to ridicule her foolishness. Quiquintel is further annoyed and emphasizes the seriousness of the situation. But the Wind Dragon isn't interested in giving straight answers. She's getting provoked to a corner with each response. The Wind Dragon warns her not to rebel against the Zyphals. Jin and Murakhan are still hiding. Buretta is done with playing around and threatens her life. But of course, she has been waiting for this moment. The epic fight begins as the Wind Dragon unleashes its furious cyclones to overwhelm Quiquintel. Transforming into her dragonic state, Quiquintel commands a bone-chilling order to free Latri if he wishes to avoid suffering. The maniac Andre grows excited with her powers. Unfortunately for her, she's dealing with a powerful sorcerer as well. A 9-star sorcerer, in fact, the same minor patriarch who wasn't granted entry into the banquet. Jin finds this opportunity a learning experience for the future. Andre prepares to strike her down. Quiquintel attempts to dodge, but all of a sudden, she has lost her ability to fly. This is one of the specialties of serving the god of the wind. They can negate flight of any creature at will. With Quiquintel stranded to the ground, Buretta prepares a powerful beam to attack her. Not like it matters to the Silver Dragon, who is overconfident in surviving the attack. Andre pairs his powerful lightning storm with the dragon's beam. The attack is powerful enough to cause Jin to worry, but Murakhan wants to believe in her strength. He knows that they're the ones who underestimated her true strength. In this pivotal moment, the Silver Dragon responds with her overwhelming control, stopping time dead in its place. She managed to stop the spell from hitting her, impressing Andre. What's more, she intends to rip him apart by the end of this fight. Andre orders Buretta to initiate his next attack, but to his shock, the dragon has been frozen in place. The silver dragon's incredible control has given her the upper hand in this fight. She beats the shit out of Buretta while he's still immobile, cutting him down limb by limb. Quicantel encourages him to talk more shit like he was doing just a moment ago. Buretta's wing is torn from its body as the silver dragon delivers her onslaught. She's prepared to kill his precious dragon before the sorcerer's eyes. But even Quicantel has exhausted too much of her divine strength. She is going to need her friend's help to stop the minor patriarch. Pushed into a corner, Andre threatens to use the Origin Stone, a powerful stone that was once destroyed ages ago. It's impossible for the Zephels to possess this cursed object. The monster unleashes its wrath, shocking even the likes of the silver dragon. The Zephel sorcerer commands the Age of Domination for his clan. The creature from the Origin Stone inflicts a major wound on Quicantel's body. The Origin Stone is a safety measure created by the gods to prevent the destruction of the world. It has the shared power of all the gods combined into a simple object. The Origin Stone was destroyed because even they feared it could be used to destroy the world instead. Murakhan can't believe that an item so ancient has resurfaced from its destruction. Quicantel is severely injured and in no position to fight. Enraged, Murakhan reveals his presence to protect the silver dragon. Since there are only 2 dark dragons existing in this world, Andre recognizes Murakhan as the guardian dragon of the Runkandel family. Andre immediately recognizes Jin by his true identity as well. Andre thinks he's got a much bigger fish to fry now. The wind dragon regains its powers as the Origin Stone corrupts the dragon with its might. Even Murakhan is shocked to see Buretta's resurrection. Both dragons commence a head-on brawl against each other. Buretta prepares to destroy Murakhan, who counters with a punch. However, his attack is easily blocked by Buretta, who mocks him and calls him an easy opponent. Buretta is celebrating that he gets to take down the strongest dragon of the past. With their fight ongoing, Andre tends to the injured silver dragon with his Origin Stone spirit. While he's blindsided, Jin prepares to attack him with the light magic technique of Chen Mi. The spell blinds the sorcerer, who then gets his body severed by Jin's sword. Buretta rushes to attack Jin and smashes him with its powerful tail, sending the teenage knight crashing. He's barely able to regain his stance when 2 more attacks come rushing right at him. It is at this moment Jin senses the absolute urge to use Luna's stone. The legendary white whale of the Runkandel family is summoned as the last to overcome her brother's greatest challenge. When Jin entered the fight, he calculated slim chances of survival against Buretta, and instead made Andre his target. He was able to land a critical slash upon the 9-star sorcerer's body, but it wasn't enough to deal the killing blow. Jin wanted to finish the fight, but he unexpectedly got attacked by Buretta before being overwhelmed by 2 godly attacks that he would never have survived. It was the best moment to smash the precious stone, summoning the monstrous warrior of the Runkandel clan. Even Andre is starstruck by her sudden appearance. Luna is happy to have been called in an important fight. She's even impressed by her brother's ability to keep up with such strong enemies. Jin is truly grateful for her help, as it would have spelled the end of him. Luna, who is now pissed more than ever, hopes that Andre has a really good reason for attacking her baby brother. Since they're fighting the minor patriarch of the Zephels, as well as a wind dragon armed with a divine artifact, Jin was wondering if they could survive this fight to begin with. But ever since she arrived, the outcome of the fight had been set in stone. Luna is single-handedly more powerful than everyone on the battlefield. Murakhan recovers Quicantel and recommends that they stay away from the fight. He's thoroughly impressed by Luna's entrance, who saved him at the last second. Andre is happy to find a living proof of the Runkandels breaking their pact against the Zephels. He's certain to report the use of Jin's magic to his clan. But the confident Luna isn't worried. She's going to make sure he never leaves this fight alive. Andre sends the cursed spirit to attack Luna. The result? It gets annihilated to pieces. Luna has had a wide history of fighting the Zephels, and she's never been impressed by a single sorcerer. In a flash, she cuts down Buretta's dragonic form. She's happy to have such an easy target, and inflicts so much damage that he's forced to return to his human form. Buretta prepares to take the fight in combat. His powers are strengthened by the cursed demonic energy. Luna realizes that the Origin Stone comes at a cost of a recharge. She thinks it's pathetic to see the minor patriarch backed into such a corner that he has to become slave to a pitiful strategy. Buretta rushes to attack her with his spear. The white whale swiftly dodges and happily counters without struggle. She tears apart Buretta's defenses, sending him on the back foot. Even the wind dragon is no match for her cruel and sharp attacks. Luna has had enough fun. She's ready to finish the fight using the finishing move of the Runkandel clan. Luna calls forth the meteor shower. Returning to Jed's memorable words, the Runkandel fighting style relies on unstoppable destruction. It is the definition of overcoming struggle. The run candles only have 2 moves in their arsenal. These are called the hidden moves and the finishing moves. Luna has just used the 3rd finishing move of the clan, a beautiful meteor shower, bewildering her brother's eyes. More than its beauty, the attack is wrathful. Andre is terrified as Buretta exhausts every bit of his strength to guard him. The minor patriarch shudders in defeat, realizing that his opponent, a regular human being, is overwhelming him with crushing difference. The best part is, Luna isn't using any cheats like activating ancient artifacts. She's a monster. Buretta thinks they might have a chance of victory thanks to the demon godstone, reincarnating him every time he dies. By the end of her attack, Luna is a little disappointed. Buretta has been decimated to pieces, but she's still nowhere near as powerful as her father's attacks. She wants this moment to be an important lesson to her baby brother. Luna is dead confident in her brother's ability to overcome Ciaran's might. But her battle has yet to be finished. A strange demon is her new opponent, an unidentifiable creature of the Zyphals. Murakun theorizes that the Zilfs ended up creating their own origin stone thanks to their contractor's powers. He wants to escape to prevent harm, but Jin is worried for Luna's safety, especially if she's up against a powerful opponent like the incarnation of the origin stone. Murakun corrects Jin, stating that he's going to become a burden in this fight if he doesn't let her sister handle the creature. The youngest run candle reflects how he came to become a contractor to the god of shadows. He had the best potential out of everyone and more gifts than he could ask for. Yet, Jin is frustrated that he couldn't salvage this situation for himself. It's below him to accept withdrawing when he didn't contribute to the fight. It's the same as how things ended for his previous life. His thoughts can only be summarized in one emotion: anger. He refuses to become weak like this ever again. Murakun is happy that the boy is festering his ambitions to become stronger and stronger. After all, it's this motivation of his that will lead him to climb the ranks above all. As for Luna, she's underwhelmed by the demon who somehow thinks he can beat her this time. However, she learns just how powerful the demon Andre truly has become when he unleashes a malevolent beam strike. Luna defends with her sword, while the demon ridicules her. Luna calmly responds that she needs nothing more than her sword to fuck him up. While she's uninterested in showing him just how powerful she truly is, Luna hopes to demonstrate true mastery over the sword. She's the first knight to have worn a red aura. Andre is arrogant in his demonic state, believing that he has an edge in this fight with his godly powers. He prepares to unleash a final attack, hoping to end the run candle. But Luna is unshaken, and before long the words Crimson Moon escape her mouth. A beautiful splash of red severs the monster in half, but the attack left behind causes a black hole of energy that draws everything near inside. Luna recognizes that she's in a pinch. Jin comes to help her, reaching out for his older sister with an honest hand. She thinks they're even for saving each other that day. Meanwhile, Latz comes to report his newfound investigations to the Vymonth Emperor. He talks about the mysterious vortex, as well as the appearance of the wind dragon Buretta. There is proof that the dragon did not survive the fight. Latz could up on the mana of a human, but couldn't figure out their identity. The vortex is still active. Unfortunately, Andre is nowhere to be found. The Emperor grows incredibly frustrated with Latz, who is failing him in many ways. He wants to conceal these sudden matters from the media. He also orders Latz to arrange a unit to uphold their relationship with the Zyphals. Finally, Latz is left with a warning. Amir isn't looking for imperfect reports and makes his point very clear. As for Bishkal and Bubar, they come to learn about the Silver Dragon's brawl against the Wind Dragon. The outcome resulted in an entire island getting decimated off the map. The Origin Stone is also reported to have been destroyed. Bubar is annoyed that they ruined his most precious piece, hinting that he may be responsible for the recreation of the demonic stone. Bishkek reports that their leader is pissed with the way Zyphals are handling things, which means they will likely ignore their orders for now. The true patriarch of the Zyphal clan acknowledges Andre's fall, despite his overwhelming advantages. He wonders if an outside force intervened to defeat them. Talks of a dark dragon have reached his ears. Misha, the other dark dragon, as well as Murakan's sister, is actually so strong that she'd easily overcome the challenge. Hearing this, the Zyphal patriarch orders his guardian dragon Kadun to look for the shadow dragons. He doesn't show any signs of concern for the loss of his brother Andre, because he knew his brother would get killed someday. After all, that man was insolent enough to arrive at Kiran's banquet on his own whim. Kadun recommends they create more demonic stones as they're the only source of their power capable of defeating the Run Candle clan. Keliak Zyphal has grand ambitions to conquer the world and rise as the new god of the realm. Returning to our heroes, Jin and the gang arrive safely to return to Jilly. She instantly faints upon seeing the great Luna becoming a part of their mission. Jilly is concerned about Jin's safety. He's getting involved in more trouble than ever when he's supposed to be operating solo. Luna is happy that she cares about the boy truly. Kashmir also arrives to meet the elegant Luna Runcandle. He also meets the silver dragon Quikentel, who is in a very pissed mood right now. Kashmir pays proper respect, realizing that he could fuck up majorly like last time. Quincantel cuts down on their conversation. She's only worried about Enya's safety. Kashmir explains how Latri returned 3 hours prior. She's with both Enya and Yulia, but something about the dragon is strange. The creature doesn't remember how it went missing for an entire year. He doesn't remember past the time Buretta took him away to teach him magic spells. Murakhan realizes that the Zyphals wiped his memory to clear proof of their involvement. They don't want the world to discover their schemes. After a long-winded explanation of how things went down, Kashmir and Jilly catch up to speed with what happened. Murakhan believes that the only reason to create a demonic stone is because the clan wants to create their own god. They're in the process of acquiring powers from each god in an effort to crush anyone who stands in their way. That is the goal of Kiliak Zyphal. Quincantel goes to check on Enya with Kashmir, while Jilly sees Luna for a second time before fainting again. This poor nanny and her stress levels. Luna learns of all of Jin's accomplishments in the short span of 3 months. She thinks it's hilarious he can't even add credibility to his own missions because he abused his powers. The Runkindels would never forgive him for that. Jilly is happy that Luna is planning to let them slide under the radar. Luna shocks them all by revealing that Kieran already knows everything by now. He's only moments away from uncovering Luna's involvement too. While Jilly is fearing for her life, Jin explains he has the perfect story. He wants to go meet his father with Luna. Sounds like a great plan at first, but it's actually crazy sounding to both women. They think he's taking his father lightly. Jin explains that he's just going to warn him about the Zyphal scheme to destroy the Runcandle clans. It's ideal that he knows about the existence of the demon creation stones too. Luna reminds the boy that he's going to fail the test automatically if he returns home before his term ends. Jin doesn't care much about that. He's hoping to score a deal out of his father. For the first time, Luna delivers her words with emphasis and bluntness. She actually fears for the boy's life. Jin thinks that she'll step up before that happens. Hearing such words coming out of his mouth, Luna approaches him with a menacing stare. Testing his conviction, she's pissed. Luna realizes just how worried Jilly must feel for him. She agrees to comply with his plans. They are to leave tomorrow. Confused, Jilly questions why Luna is accepting to help her brother. It's simple. She doesn't like the way of the clan and how it thrives on killing each other. Luna hopes to become a reliable sibling to Jin, his one form of defense. She's hoping he has something good in mind to win this encounter. The next day, both Luna and Jin return to Storm Castle. They're met with scrutiny and frustration. Jin's big sister owes him big time for doing so much for him. Vuigo and the rest of the Runcandle flag bearers stand to oppose Luna's decision strongly. They're all ready to confront so easily, which also implies Kieran is aware of their return. Mary is mad and pissed that Jin is halting his growth by choosing an early death. Luna explains that Jin returned of his own volition, but then her own judgment is questioned for being unable to stop him. Luna can't argue with Luntia's clever arguments. Luntia is shocked when she learns that Jin is personally going to see their father. The rest of his siblings even try to warn him that he's definitely getting himself killed. Luntia takes a breath and allows entry. However, she is quick to draw her sword against Luna, demanding her weapon. Kieran wants to see Jin in isolation. Luna ferociously rebels against the decision with her anger. So the rest of the flag bearers all gather to beat her upon the orders of Kieran. Jin assures Luna that he's here to inform his father about something important. He's unafraid of what is to come, so he walks away without any fears. As he's making way inside the castle, Jin reflects that not even one of his siblings understands the patriarch. He thinks it's possible to earn his father's trust so long as he keeps a cool act. Jin takes a deep breath, gently knocking on the door. The result? Well, let's just say his aura alone decimates the door. For the first time, Kieran is violently pissed against the boy. Kieran literally made a blade out of aura just to demonstrate how powerful his sword skills could become someday. It's actually a learning experience instead of a demonstration of fear. Jin knows that he shouldn't apologize and act boldly. The boy utters words that none of his children ever even spoke of, that he missed his father. Kieran is affected by his sweetness, but still calls him out for being weak. Jin emphasizes his affection, but it doesn't get him very far. Kieran unleashes his sheer intent to kill, overwhelming Jin from the very place he stands. Kieran knows that he's here for a reason. Jin reports that the minor patriarch of the Zyphal clan has been defeated. He is honest about Luna's involvement in the situation. Jin tells him that he has more to state other than what he just said. Kieran takes intrigue and allows his son the chance to speak. Kieran learns of the many adventurers Jin has had along his journey as a reserve flag bearer. He wonders if Jin was here to tell him about the defeat of the second most powerful Zyphal. Jin argues that Andre is far from the most powerful Zyphal they have, because despite Luna's strength, It's unlikely for the Zyphals to have been defeated so easily. The Patriarch confirms the boy's suspicions, adding that there is someone who is even stronger than Kiliak, being more powerful than the Patriarch of the Zyphal clan. But Jin has yet to mention the most valuable detail: the artifact that was used in his battle against the Zyphals. The Stone of the Demon God, a mystical replica of the Origin Stone which the gods themselves created. Ciaran interestingly mentions Murakhan, revealing that he's always known about the Dark Dragon as well as the boy's ability to control mana. His father knew the depths of his secrets. He even laughs in Jin's face because he actually didn't know about Murakhan and instead manipulated our boy to spill his secrets. Even Chiron can't help but laugh at the fact that the strongest dragon was reduced to a damn cat. On a more serious note, Ciaran wants to discuss the information regarding the artifact with Luna. It's a dangerous object, and he wonders if the kings of the Dark Sea are aware of its powers. He feels the sudden need to return to the Dark Sea to fulfill his mission. Sharon emphasizes that Jin's return will be forgiven, but it's clear that the boy is seeking something for his accomplishments. Jin makes his words clear. He doesn't want any Runkandel to ever step foot in the city of Tikan, because it's the place where he will settle down and execute his missions. Before he can, however, Kieran lays a condition. He wants the boy to succeed in cooperating with Kashmir and win him over, and if he does, then he will make sure to uphold Jin's wish. But Sharon doesn't even know that Jin has already done that part too. He brings Kashmir, who looks like a lost puppy, in front of the Patriarch. Kashmir realizes that he's facing the most powerful knight in the entire world. He feels immense pressure just being in his presence. Kashmir strengthens his resolve and pays his respect to the Runkandel Patriarch. Jean takes a moment to explain that they both know each other well. Since he is clearly invested in a cooperative relationship with Kashmir, Jin's part of the deal is fulfilled. Poor Kashmir is devastated, thinking that the Runkandels might try to conquer Tikan at this rate. Jin basically lucked out and passed the test without even trying. When Kashmir learns about Jin's condition to forbid any Runkandel from entering Tikan, he's shocked and even happy. Since Kieran has a bunch of other things to discuss with Kashmir, he tells Jin to take his leave. Poor Kashmir is terrified of this man, barely able to talk. Meanwhile, Jin strolls around the manor. The Tona twins are surprised to see him in one piece. He asks the twins for a favor to look after his cadets in the time he's gone. After his leave, they both can't believe that he's fearless even after a discussion with their scary father. Jin returns outside in one piece, shocking the rest of his siblings. He tells Luna to go and chat with Kieran, even mocking his siblings by keeping the information private. Kashmir does return outside, but this man looks like he had the worst time of his life. Miyu is upset that an outsider entered the Garden of Swords without approval. Luntia doesn't want her to keep yapping since they've already done their part of the job. Jin sincerely apologizes to his sister for the trouble. He's going to leave again and prioritize his training. He bids his siblings farewell. A month passed. In the underground training hall, Elisa Badger is training this man like crazy. He's taken 30 losses against this woman in a row, but his ambition and spirit to fight has yet to be quelled. He's ready to eat his 31st defeat. The Zyphal clan publicly addressed the deaths of both Andre and the Wind Dragon. They didn't focus on what caused the death, but many rumors spread regarding his assassination. The most convincing rumor was believed that he fought and lost against the Runkandels. Of course, many thought that a war was soon to follow. Many factions were offering favors to the Runkandels, bestowing them with gifts for their requests. Ciaran is such a gigachad. He turned down the gifts and accepted the requests anyway, because he's playing the long game. Unfortunately, Ciaran has to deal with Jin's mess because of his proactive moves. He tells Khan about his return to the Dark Sea, but it seems that Kashmir is in an important conversation with the Patriarch, so he wants his messages delivered even if he's fighting the monsters in the Dark Sea. Going back to Jin's training, he's sharpening his swordsmanship. Even after swinging his weapon 10,000 times, this man still can't find himself facing Luna. Even though he's reached 5 stars in both swordsmanship and magic, Jin is unimpressed with his level of strength. He is working himself to the bone to get stronger. He wishes to overcome his siblings in the 5 years he's been given. Kashmir is worried for his overtraining despite his talents as a Runkandel Swordmaster. Enya is also here for a surprise visit. She's concerned about Jin's swollen and bleeding hands. Kashmir reminds him that his enemies will be much stronger in the future, but it's likely that he will harm himself by overtraining through impatience. It's basically like ego lifting above his level. Jin admits that he's in the wrong here, even though he can't stop himself from giving his absolute best. Kashmir thinks that he should be proud of his current level of effort. He wants to contribute by adding something fun to his training routine. He was then given the recommendation to spar against a powerful foe. Jin thinks Kashmir is inviting him to challenge the Swordmaster. Though he acts like a coward in front of him, Kashmir is actually crazy strong with his sword skills. It's a reason they call him the Phantom Sword, and why he was recommended as a Runkandel instructor. Kashmir wants to fight him when he's ready, but before he gets to that level, Jin has a different opponent to face. That's how his wife, Elisa, came into the picture. Jin was given 6 months to try and defeat Elisa. He was granted permission to use every single skill without holding back. Yulia was scared because the little girl didn't want her mother to fight, but Elisa welcomed the opportunity. Initially, our boy didn't have a great impression of Elisa apart from her impressive physique. Well, that is until Yulia dissed him so hard by calling him weak as hell, especially when you know she is physically incapable of speaking lies. Elisa was okay with challenging Jin every day for 6 months straight. She didn't think of it as a burden. 2 days passed and Jin found himself challenging the physical powerhouse before him. She explains that her only rule is to never go easy on anyone. Elisa is hoping Jin won't lose heart after taking his first L. It was here when he realized that the challenge to defeat her in 6 months is realistic. When the fight began, one single punch from Elisa took everything in Jin's arsenal to block. She was impressed that he could counter the move. Jin followed by using light magic, momentarily blinding her. Then he lunged forth to strike, exposing himself to a huge opening. And that is when he realized he fucked up. Elisa wound up with such a powerful punch that it sent this man flying. Elisa was impressed by Jin's ability to make 2 attacks on the first day. Even though she held back in her first punch, Elisa was surprised by Jin's blinding spell which he had casted on his sword before the fight began. But his tricks weren't enough to bypass Elisa's raw power. Even so, she thinks he was using strategy to his advantage, which is how he overcame opponents far stronger than him. It's not that Jin is overpowered, it's that he has mastered the art of creating opportunities for himself. While she's impressed, Jin is at a loss. He exposed every trick in his playbook and still shamefully lost. This is the level of difficulty he was up against, and the monster he had to overcome in the 6 months ahead. It was exciting for both fighters. 1 month has passed, and we're back to Kiron's fight against the monsters of the Dark Sea. Khan comes to deliver an important message from Kashmir. The letter is written with so much care and attention that it's looking like this man is confessing his love or something. Sharon is damn pissed because Kashmir didn't do as he was told. He wanted to be updated on Jin's progress. The letter is mostly a yap festival, but it does have a part regarding Jin's progress. It's mentioned in the report how Jin has been losing countless times against Kashmir, but the more they fight, the longer he's able to survive. He has incurred 40 losses straight, but something about this report makes Kieran exceptionally happy. The Patriarch learns that Jin lasted over 120 moves in their latest fight. It means he's doing everything in his power to overcome his previous limits. Kieran is so happy for his son that he almost didn't want the boy to leave the clan because he deems him worthy to be a successor. It's never been clear about which child he truly wanted to be named a successor. Even though Joshua is the leading candidate for throne, it is not from the interest of the Patriarch. Khan emphasizes that Jin is far too young to be called a worthy candidate. He thinks Jin lacks the ferocity and the objective approach, and that's the only thing Joshua has a lead on. Before sending Khan away, the Patriarch wonders why the letter arrived 10 days after it was submitted. Khan explains that he was fighting monsters on the way, so the Patriarch uses a mana blade to tear apart their surroundings, clearing a path for Khan's return. He hopes the following messages will be delivered sooner. Back to Jin's training. He's fought Elisa over 90 times now. He's getting harder to beat after every match, but it's something that he must do in order to overcome Elisa's strength. Instead of going out to enjoy dessert, Jin maintains his practice, sharpening his speed of growth. Elisa notes that the boy's aura is completely in sync with mana, skyrocketing his growth thanks to the power of Shadow Force. She thinks that his talents and abilities would have been useless if not for his relentless perseverance to improve his skills. Elisa is happy, as she is predicting her defeat very soon. The next day, Jin exchanges blow for blow against the martial artist. Elisa thinks that she's got the upper hand, but suffers a brutal slash. A critical strike has massively wounded her. She hasn't been injured in a long time. Jin calls for Enya and thinks that he won purely by chance. She could have dodged it, but she went all in. He was careful enough to fool her with Shadow Force. Elisa's skills are getting sloppy ever since her retirement. She's already lost, much sooner than predicted. But Jin is at odds. He doesn't want to consider this match his victory. That's a champion-level mindset, if you ask me. Elisa emphasizes that it is still something to think about. Jin's improvement has skyrocketed in the past 3 months. His endless desire to improve fuels his training, and he's set to reach 6 stars in his skills. That will be the decisive moment of Elisa's defeat. Winter has arrived. Murakhan is enjoying ice pops despite the cold weather. He wanted to get some for Jilly because she likes them. Jin has an important matter to discuss with Kashmir. It is regarding Bishkal, the leading candidate successor for his clan. Jin wants information on the guy. Kashmir explains that it's hinted that Bishkal is cooperating with the Kinzalo. He goes to a special art workshop owned by Bubare, another officer among the Kinzalo organization. When it comes to relationships, it seems that Bubare has a greater rank in the organization, which is also why Bishkal came to fight in his stead at the banquet. But what's bothering Jin is Kinzalo's association with Bishkal. When it comes to the incidents of his previous life, all major clans had a major time dealing with the Kinzalo, proving their strength. While Yulia is annoying the shit out of Murakhan, Jin is curious if Kashmir was able to gather information on Alu, the fallen owner of the auction house. Apparently, nothing about him is out in the open. Jin thinks that someone is taking active procedures to cover this guy's tracks. He almost regrets killing him so soon. Our boy is happy for Kashmir wingmanning so much information to him. He's indebted to his dedication. As for Jin, he has to go spar with Eliza. But this time he wants Kashmir to come see the fruits of his efforts. In the training arena, Eliza certainly wasn't expecting her husband to come see her lose. After all, she's confident that Jin will defeat her in this match. Jin claims that he will forever remember her as an amazing training partner and friend. Kashmir is utterly stumped. He can't believe that Jin has overcome the skill level in 3 months. The fight begins as Jin calls forth his newest summon skill. A beautiful shadow phoenix emerges from magic. After reaching 6 stars in magic sorcery, a sorcerer is qualified to enter a pact with a phoenix. This pact is kept secret, as only the sorcerer can open the dimensional gate to summon the phoenix. On the contrary, it's the phoenix which selects the sorcerer, which is why many magicians desperately cling to the hopes of being selected one day. Among the phoenixes, there existed the rarest of them all, the blue phoenix Tess. This bird has only accepted the calling of the strongest sorcerers in history. With his preparations ready, Jin and Elisa begin their fight. She lunges forth to crush him, but Tess makes the first move by using a high-level flame spell. There is an additional effect of the flames as it affects Elisa's powers. She senses that the skill pressure is being used. She doesn't have long to finish the fight. Jin closes the distance by attacking her and putting her on edge. He overwhelms her with a wind spell. Fortunately, Jin has faced her enough times to figure out that she prioritizes a dominating style of fighting. She prefers gaining control quickly, and that's exactly what Jin is aiming to exploit in this battle. He exploits her in close range with his sword skills. Then, he follows it up with fire magic, further putting Elisa on edge. She's cornered due to the Phoenix's flames and Jin's forward strike. Elisa realizes that dodging won't get her out of this sticky situation. She uses her full power to catch his blade mid-swing and even endures the flame attack. Elisa prepares to finish him off, but Jin is surprisingly nowhere to be found. It's impossible because she clearly felt him. Elisa suddenly realizes that the pressure trait dulled her senses. Jin uses this critical moment to attack her and win the fight, this time without any doubts. Realizing that he must have overdone it, Jin calls for Enya's help to heal Elisa. After his match, both Murakhan and Quiquintel are starstruck when they find out Jin won. IT rocked their world, not because it was Elisa that he beat, but because he summoned the Phoenix Tease itself. Quiquintel cripples to her knees upon that discovery. After Elisa's recovery, Jin explains that he planned his winning strategy back when they first fought each other. They both enjoyed the sparring session. Jin has made a remarkable accomplishment to defeat the captain of a task force, and he's not even 16 yet. Both Murakhan and Quiquintel arrive in a rush, begging to talk to Tess. Jin does as he is instructed while Quiquintel plummets to greet the ruler of the Fire Realm. Murakhan is as arrogant as he used to be. They seem to know each other for some reason, with Quiquintel shivering in fear. After returning Tess to its dimension, Murakhan explains the reason as to why Tess is such a big deal. Apparently, it's not even the creature's true form. It rules over the Fire Realm, a place where dragons and phoenixes thrive. It's a place well beyond the understanding of even the gods themselves. But that's not all. There was one time when the gods dared to enter the Fire Realm along with their dragons. But when that happened, Tess was extremely offended and unleashed his ultimate power. Tess became responsible for slaughtering 5 gods and even defeating dragons. Jin is stumped to discover its true power. Unfortunately, he can't deploy the full use of its powers in the real world. Even if Jin became the peak of power, it would be impossible. It's a penalty for crossing over to the other dimension, which is the same reason the gods proved useless against Tess in the Fire Realm. So the same can be said of its powers in this realm. But even then, the Phoenix is powerful enough to turn anything to ashes. Murakhan emphasizes that all the dragons are scared shitless of that monster. He does share that Tess has taken a liking to Jin, who contemplates how powerful an asset Tess truly is. It means that he could use its powers to defeat the Zyphals one day. A month passed. Patriarch Sieran Runkendel learned that his son was chosen by the god of the Fire Realm. More importantly, Jin's swordsmanship skills are skyrocketing over other aspects of his abilities. Sieran explores a different topic. He has come to know of Ron Heron's grandson, and an assassination mission linked to participating in a competition. Jin learns from Kashmir about the Arena of Cosmos, which might help him face off against Dante Hiron, who is a pureblood of the powerful Hiron clan. The Patriarch used to rival Karen's strength before he surpassed everyone and became a divine star knight. Jin's interest peaked after that information, but he's still displaying signs of uncertainty. Kashmir emphasizes that this is the only opportunity he has to face off against a prodigious pureblood of the Hiron clan. Because of Kashmir's insistence, Jin decides to accept. He realizes what's going on, and what Kashmir was tasked with when his father had a private meeting with him. The Runkandel Patriarch wants the boy to focus on his swordsmanship above all, and Kashmir is following commands because he has no choice. He has already prepared a trip for Jin. It's been a while since he has executed a solo mission since Mamet Lawless. In fact, the Arena of Cosmos is much worse compared to that place. It's a brutal arena where competitors are allowed to use any kind of weapon to kill their opponents. Even killing opponents before the match is permitted. So the fact that Dante Heron, a renowned pureblood, is participating in a vile competition, Jin is really surprised by his participation. But still, he's happy to face that guy as long as it allows him an opportunity to grow. Speaking of growth, Veridine Zeifel is also in this competition. Jin arrives to sign up for the tournament, but instead, he's told to scatter as the registration phase has already ended. The grumpy receptionist doesn't actually care for any kind of regulation. He just wants Jin to leave. Happy to teach him a lesson, Jin whacks a bunch of gold coins in his face, sending him to the ground. Apparently this guy is a weirdo who really liked Jin's brutal approach. He's ready to sign him up just for that. The dude he just kicked down is the master of the island and the pirate king Cosmos himself. Jin is in group 13. The dude guiding him to the place tells Jin that one other dude punched the captain right in the face, and that it would have been fun if they fought each other. Jin is open to fighting this mystery man in the finals. He isn't even given a proper space to stay. It seems that a bunch of guys stay in a cell, which provokes them to fight each other. After all, it's not supposed to be a fair game. One guy confronts Jin in order to mess with him. But our boy has enough experience under his belt. He's ready to smoke everyone if they don't leave by the 3rd second. The countdown finishes as Jin absolutely destroys the dudes in his cell. Now that he's made a polite introduction, Jin challenges his next few opponents, who foolishly lunge at him, thinking they'll kill the newbie. It takes our boy a few seconds to cut apart their limbs. This place is full of disgusting criminals even worse than Ma Meat. Jin is going to have a lot of fun defeating everyone for the few days to come. When the guide arrives at his cell, he's shocked that Jin has run through his entire competition already. He's not interested in killing them yet. The guide tells him to observe Group 1 and 2, as he may end up fighting them soon. Arriving at the arena, Jin observes the grand setting. There's a lot of people in the stands, but nobody is likely to recognize him. A bunch of them are busy chatting about a mysterious fighter who knocked out the entirety of his group. Strangely, the people seem to have caught wind of the fact that a Runkandel flag-bearer has infiltrated the competition. This fact shouldn't be known to the general public. So Jin is surprised and takes a seat next to the clowns who are assuming the flag-bearer is actually Jin Runkandel. Jin doesn't understand what's going on. He thinks it shouldn't be possible for people to know about him so vividly. Jin thinks that it's possible one of the twins has come to the competition. The captain of the arena takes the big stage. Cosmos is cheered and loved by the crowds as he promised to help challenges achieve their dreams. The competition is set between 14 participants in 13 groups, so nearly 200 martial artists are here to fight. The first match is between a fighter called Mantis versus a strange swordsman called Paul Mick. But the boy looks so young to be fighting at this stage. Jin thinks he's probably a 13-year-old at best. Then he remembers the words of the guide who told him about the other young boy punching down their captain. The match begins and immediately ends with Paul's instant slash. Mantis hits the ground with no one even being capable of discerning what happened. Jin recognizes Paul's ferocity, who cleaved his opponent's head clean with a single strike. This could only mean one thing. He's Dante Heron operating under a false name. Pumped by this epic fight, Veridine the Loudmouth places his bets on Paul. Jin is shocked to see this guy popping out of nowhere, as he didn't know of his participation. Veridine takes the crowd and rests his money on Paul. He's acting far too casual to be on a mission. Suddenly, the annoying sorcerer notices Jin Runkandel from the stands. Paul remembers meeting Veridine at a Zeifel banquet, but didn't think he'd be happy seeing his amazing performance. The two of them are happy, while Jin is just annoyed. Before the next match, Cosmos interviews Paul on his post-win feelings. Paul is happy to have exterminated a vile scum and seems like a righteous fighter. Cosmos is almost offended and reminds the young swordsman that his provocative words will make every pirate here his enemy. With that, the preparation for the next match begins. Jin observed the following few matches but found himself bored. It's clear that Paul Mick is Dante Heron in secret. His swordsmanship is too impressive for his age. At this point, The boy wonders if he can overcome this guy in a show of pure swordsmanship. He could easily defeat him using his other skills, but that's not what he wants. Jin's match is delayed until the rest of the fights are finished. But for the time being, he's focused on beating down the pirates in his cell. Paul, specifically exhausted from surviving his long fights, walks beside the cells. Before leaving for the arena of Cosmos, Veridine had shortly learned about the competition through a Zephal elder. He was informed about Dante's participation in the tournament, and sent on a mission to observe the swordsman's powers. Veridine came here for information gathering and collecting precious money in the process. He's bored to death with how the matches are going, and wonders where the actually strong participants went. That's when Veridine learned that Jin Grey was also here, not just to spectate, but also fight. With most of his battles finished, Jin is exhausted. 35